Okay, we're here at 3526 Babson Street. We got a call that this place might be haunted. We got Desi McIntosh and Bonnie Bird that we'll be talking to. So come with me and we'll check this out. See if we can pick up any entities and follow the ghost hunters.
She stayed in the room down here in the basement. And she'd hear me, "Why are you walking at 4 o'clock in the morning in your room?" Which my room is upstairs, is over that bed.
Right.
I said, I ain't even been, I quit sleeping in the room when my husband passed away. Because I was laying in the bed and I actually thought I felt him coming over, you know, and kissing me and whispering to me. So I got out of the room.
When they whisper to you, what kind of
It's just like, you can hear like mumbling talk.
really?
Like trying to talk to me.
So you can't really decipher it, make it out. You can
Nope,
just...
he leaned down. I think it was him. Like he leaned down to kiss me, you know.
Soft whisper or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then me and my daughter and daughter-in-law was upstairs. They were sleeping in my room because they used to come home and sleep in my room. They live in Columbus. And then they just started getting freaky and they started coming out, "Mama, there's something over the TV." And I went in there and sat for a little bit. And it looked like it would come up the wall and come over towards the top of the bed. So they won't sleep hardly in any room of the house anymore.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm comfortable. I mean, I'm not going in, I'm not sleeping in no other room but the living room.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that in 4 years.
Really?
It's just a lot of things that happen in the house, and like me and her have actually been to the psychic fair, and we've seen Mr. Gordon.
Okay.
And he's the one that tells me I need to sell the house and get out.
Does he believe that there's evil entities here? Did he say that?
He says that there's because I used to have my little dog, and he passed away like not even a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he always barks at what's in the back of my chair or in the corner of my living room up there.
Oh, really?
And Mr. Gordon says it's a tall, older man, smells like cigarette smoke and tobacco, alcohol. I said, well, that would be my husband more or less, but my dog's not afraid of him. He said, no, it's farther back than him. But I was actually right here the first time I'd ever felt anything, you know, that was down in the basement. But now and her daughter and her granddaughter, she thinks that, and she's like only 5. She picks up on things, and she really, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Okay, let me just check to see if I get any readings.
I don't know what it is, but I went in that room, and it went away, and then I'm coming back in here, and my heart is pounding.
That's the way Bonnie
I'm
gets.
getting nauseous.
Really? Okay.
She came down last night, her and my friend came down and filmed the basement, and my sister's heart felt like it was beating on her chest.
It's all of a sudden.
Okay. Do you want to...
I'm fine.
Are you?
I'm just telling you my reactions here.
That's fine.
I think it's around that hole there. Bonnie has actually seen one, and she thought it was Christ himself, you know, that the figure that it kind of took with her. So, I've seen things I think went through my hallway, but at that time, I thought it was my husband that got up and went to the bathroom. And I waited a long time in my chair, and I'm like, he's in there forever because he was real sick. And then I went in the bathroom about a half hour later to look for him, and he was asleep. He was snoring in his room. So he hadn't even moved out of the house. I seen a lot of activity at the time. He was getting ready to pass over too. But I actually believe it was family members coming for him. Or something in the house, I'm not for sure.
Most portals are around mirrors. They will enter and exit through mirrors.
Through mirrors.
Right. And do you put crosses over your doors?
I think at one time we had them. There's about a cross or angel figures or something in each room. There's something there.
So just to protect you from anything evil.
If it's evil, yeah, but I feel I've been here that long. I don't know whether, you know, because I've actually lived here about a year after my husband passed away by myself. But like I said, I didn't stay much. You know, you get depressed. When you go, this house makes you not want to leave. If you get sick or a cold or something, you stay. You don't want to get out of the house. You find every reason to stay here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Instead of getting up and going places and living a normal life, you know. Like,
and
I think the most active room is that one right there, especially where he's standing. That's where Bonnie and them seen a lot of things last night. They said the wall like gets dark, and then there's orbs like shoots out.
Oh, really?
They've got it on film.
Well, they do. Okay, they like that.
They said there's a man that stands behind her chair, and you can smell tobacco sometimes when nobody's been smoking. a real stinky, like a drunken alcoholic tobacco smell.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Her husband has died of emphysema.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a smoker, and
But they said it wouldn't be him because he would never do anything to hurt me.
They said
That
it
it's,
wasn't him.
this guy's been with me for years, since I was little. They actually said it was somebody that passed away when I was like 3 years old. And I think my mother said it was my great-grandfather.
Basement is,
well, we have the other part of the team, Patrick Hughes. He actually died about 2 or 3 times. He was involved in an airplane accident, and on the way to the hospital, he passed away. They revived him, passed away, revived him, and he's very sensitive to things like that. So he'll be coming over a little bit later.
like sometimes too, when you stay in here, you don't want to leave. Like
That's what I was
you have to
thinking.
about make yourself leave this house.
Okay.
You know, like you get depressed and you just don't want to leave, you know. But once you get out, you're fine, you know.
So it makes you feel bad staying here, but it makes you feel bad leaving too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like nothing wants you to leave, it wants you to hear.
Right.
Because when I was really thinking about selling, it was like, that's when everything just started acting crazier. But it's always been, I mean, I think there's something to do with that corner. And I know there's something there in my bedroom, I think.
So you feel,
Relationship thing.
right.
A lot of pain's been up in this house, a lot of hurt.
Mhm.
They call that room back in there the sick room. They call my room, that was my husband's room. Bonnie's room, which is now, used to be Glenna's room, which was my husband's first wife. They didn't actually stay together like for the last 15 years.
And when I stay here at night, when she works nights, I get what I gotta get. I take it to my room and I stay in my room.
So you don't. Do you hear any noises afterwards? You go in your room. Do you hear any?
Yeah, you'll
footsteps?
hear stuff up messing around in the kitchen. You'll hear noises coming from the kitchen.
Like what
Like,
kind of
you know,
noises?
like sometimes a dish rattle, or you'll hear like that.
You want to look at the faces in my bathroom?
Yes, that'd be great. Yeah.
That's the best part of my house.
All right. So this is faces that.
They're into my tile in the bathroom.
So they're in the tile in the bathroom. Okay.
Sure are.
So this is. So you're
That's
saying
the
this?
first towel I ever found,
That's
was that one.
So this is a horn. I'm still trying to put it together in my eyes.
If you stand back farther like where I'm at, you can.
Okay.
Because his whiskers, this is his face, the bottom part of his face. There's his eyes, his horn, and his nose. But that's the first one I ever found.
Okay.
And which takes up 4 squares.
Yeah, I can see the alien that you're talking about. That large
Okay, but
forehead.
there's a man's face like 4 squares
here.
over.
This is the alien they're talking about. Is this
Now go
right?
this way.
Okay, then over.
Right there, you're right in his face.
Okay,
He's
so
leaning like sideways, looking down like.
that was a side shot. Oh, like here?
Mm-hmm. You see him?
And this is his what, chin? Or not? Can
Yeah.
you see my hand?
I can't, she's,
Okay. This right here.
yeah. Right here is his eyes, his head part, his nose. There's his mouth. You can see little whiskers, mustache. Right here is my man, the horror death. See his mouth, nose, eyes.
Oh, I see what you're saying here. Yeah.
Mhm.
See this, the eyes, nose, and the mouth, kind of teeth right here.
Yeah, he's
Kinda
got a
like that,
split between them.
Sort of like like he's yelling, like, or in
Yawning.
pain.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like clouds. If you look at clouds long enough, you can make images appear in your mind.
But
Is this the same furniture?
the bed is. No, not that they slept on that. It was my husband's bed. And this is the dresser to the bed. The rest of the furniture is mine. This chair is what his father made. Of course, I kept it. It used to be brown.
You see, when you say a sick room, I mean, are you saying everybody
They
that
say it
enters
smells.
smells?
Like it's
Okay.
got a smell of sick people.
Okay. You smell anything?
I burn so much incense and sage in these rooms, it's very hard to pick up
Well, I
anything.
picked up the incense when I walked in.
Yeah, I was burning
It
dreamsicles.
smelled good.
Dreamsicles?
Had a quick spike on when I opened the door, came in, it went up to red and immediately went down to green.
I think whatever's in is like towards that corner. My TV used to sit here. And me and my daughter, like I said, they were in the bed, it was sitting like this, and something just came up the wall. You could see at the top part, the wall was all white, and it just came straight over, and it did it a few times.
We'll get a little bit of reading above the bed here. And we're getting a reading of 59 degrees, 60 degrees. The average about 58 degrees here. 55 in this corner. And 60 degrees near the top. 55 degrees in this corner. So this corner here is about 5 degrees cooler. And we get some spikes here too, in this corner, right here. Are you getting that?
Yes. Yes.
It's spiking. Right here. So, can you get the degrees here? Well, here. 53, 54, 53. And we get a little reading near the top here. It's starting to go up a bit. Not much, not like the big spike that we got a little bit earlier. So really, I'd say right near the top here, get a little something. That doesn't mean there is something there, but there's some sort of reading that causes this electronic magnetic detector to read. See, now it's getting a little stronger, a little stronger. So, you see how that's getting a lot stronger. But it seems to be in this corner right here. Everywhere else is about 60 degrees.
What's this called?
61, that's 61, that's 60. This one here is, in fact, I can feel the difference in temperature now. It's starting to hit my arm. This one's 54 degrees. So it's about 6 degrees cooler in this corner.
Okay.
Okay. Plus, we're getting a little bit of a reading here on this meter. It spiked when I came in, and also spiked in this when we came near this corner. So, Bonnie, when this thing came up,
It was like at the top of the roof, the ceiling, and it just like it floated over towards the top of our bed where we was at.
like a smoke or
Yeah,
a cloud.
it was black though. It just came out. It looked like a figure thing, like a cape thing, you know, like
Okay.
something big. It was just coming over.
Okay, so and it went up the wall, across the ceiling.
It went up to the ceiling and it stopped when I sat at the edge of the bed. I had that bed in here at that time. And it just stopped, and then we kept watching a movie, and then Nikki said, shit, I'm getting out of here because it's coming up again. And it would just constantly, then they never slept in here again. They won't sleep in this room when they come home.
Okay.
This was mine and my husband's room.
No, my heart is not racing, but I'm getting nauseous like I did downstairs.
Do you smell anything at all?
That the incense is blocking
Okay.
any of that from me up here, but I am the last 30 seconds getting nauseous.
Okay, so we got, so we did get a reading in this corner. This bedroom is definitely cooler in this corner. And Eileen feels a little nauseous. Not from the smell, just feels that way in this room. And notice we're getting a better reading now. You see this? Right here, it went back, now left. And as we go higher, you notice it's a little bit stronger, but we get a good middle reading here. So I'm sure the entity, whatever's in here, is definitely trying to figure out what we're doing here. Because as we enter a place, it definitely disrupts the entities that are here. Do you have the heat on in this room?
The heat's on in every room. No, nothing's blocked. You can see. And heat does come up out of there.
Mm-hmm. I can feel it almost, even in this coat, feel a coolness right here, right in this area here. So, and like I said, we do get that, pretty good, we had a middle reading, and then we had a spike to the red when we came in, which definitely said there is something.
We keep this door shut all the time. If I'm not here, I go in and out to do things, get things that I need.
Okay.
But other than that, like I said, I quit sleeping in the room. I slept in here like a month or two after he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I just quit.
Well, you said that the entity came up the back of the wall, across the ceiling while you were watching TV, or
The
Yeah.
girls were laying in here watching the TV.
right?
And they were hollering, "Mom, come here." And I'm like, "I'm not coming in there." They said, "Mom, please come in. There's something on the ceiling." And I said, "Yeah." So Nicole covered her head, and Nikki was watching. So I sat at the foot of the bed. At that time, I didn't see anything, so I just sat there. And then I seen. So I said, "Is that what you're talking about?" And it came. It was because the TV set right here. It came out like over here, and it was just big, and it just like floated over towards us, and then it just disappeared. Then we sat there, and I joke with them and laugh, you know, and try to scare them, and then it would come back.
That was a
It was
real
just like
dark,
they were like, yeah, it's grayish dark.
grayish dark.
It's
okay.
not real dark.
Okay, okay.
But
It wasn't, and you couldn't see through it, or you could
No.
see through it now.
it just looked like a shadow. It looks like this right here,
Okay,
like
so
a dark gray shadow, and it just like floated, like you know,
Okay.
like it was moving.
and it just kind of hovered.
It hovered right over top the TV, and then it float. It came to the other bed sits about right here. It came from the top, just like that, like my hands moving.
Right.
But it was like a figure, a larger figure.
Okay. Come at you at all?
No, it didn't come down to me because I just told them, I said, "Get your stuff and come on."
Right.
Because we just went back in the living room, and they actually slept in the living room floor that night. Last time they were home, they actually slept in the living room floor.
Really? Okay. And how long ago had that was that happened? That happened to you?
You wasn't living here then, it was, Giovanni. It's over about a year ago.
There we go. Okay. So you said so nobody's really stayed in here for a year?
Mm-mm.
Was that a stupid question? Okay.
You could tell by looking around. I was sleeping right there on the other bed, right there, when I knew somebody was leaning over me, and it, like they was taking my breath, and I took it as he was trying to kiss me. I thought it was my husband, but I could feel somebody leaning over me. That was that.
Uh-huh.
And I
feel
was-
a breath?
Yeah, I felt a breath,
Okay.
like he was kind of whispering softly.
Yeah. Eileen has a good reading here. Can you zoom in on this, Sam? We got about a good 3 reading right here. So that's pretty good. So and you've been told there's more than one entity here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it going up?
Did you just see that?
Does it spike?
Yes.
Yeah, they're moving.
I mean, the redhead.
Yeah. Yeah, that means definitely something. Watch the China.
That's fine.
Oh, right there. Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
It's
Oh my
over the
goodness.
wall, I bet, whatever
See
it
it?
is.
Okay. Hold it right there. I'm going to get the light on this. Right where you're at is 82 degrees.
See, the china cabinet never sat there. It sat farther over. That section there was always open. The TV sat there.
Right. And now we're back down to 62.
This wood is cold to my hand.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it probably would be cold since they don't. Well, they don't have regular heat here.
Right, but this is measuring. Oh. Did you see that?
You get that
Measuring
spike?
78 degrees. Why would
70
the wood be cold if this is measuring 78?
Well, it spikes. It goes at 75, then it hustles down to 61 or 60 degrees.
All right, now I'm gonna take my hand out here
Okay.
and go over to the far left.
You're still getting a good strong reading at in this area, which is good. And you got
And
a
that's a solid. A solid.
solid red there.
It just it flashed a couple times.
Yeah, right. I got 84, dropped down real quick to 61. But we got a pretty good reading right in here. Do you see this, Bonnie?
I seen all them lights going off.
Right, yeah. So this shows an electromagnetic field that's definitely strong, and usually any entity that exists has that field surrounding. We all have it around
Bonnie,
us.
you need to listen to this because I don't.
Come in.
I lose everything.
See right here, we get a really good reading here that shows the electromagnetic field detector going, picking up something here, and usually this shows there's some sort of entity or reading here that's causing that to go off, and we got some good temperature readings in this corner over here, and also readings too. So there's more than one entity here, and I say one's here and one's over there.
Yeah.
Then we got, see, the
Yeah.
fourth red. So it's strongest here, and this is where the entity was that came up
It
the
did.
wall over the top, so.
It just like it just floated, like its hands, you could see a body form, you know, but it was like shadowed out, and it just kept coming over. And I told her, I said, no, it's nothing, I was just joking and scaring him.
Right.
And then all at once, I said, no, and Nikki said, I'm never going back. And she doesn't come in here for a while, too.
Now how does Bonnie, you know, does it really affect her she seems like she's definitely troubled at being in the house.
She is.
And,
I have a little bit of everything everywhere. So I try to keep my space that way. I burn my candles every night. I burn my incense every night and just tell it to keep its ass out of there and leave me the hell alone.
do you ever think that these entities might be trapped here and they want to?
I don't know if they want to, I think, I don't know if they want to go, you know, or whether, sometimes I think, you know, because I've had a long illness since I've been here, you know, and it's only got worse, you know, so I have to stay in this house.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't get out and roam right now, and I can't get, you know, I can't believe it, and there's days that it's like it'll be worse, and then other days that, so I don't know whether it like preys on you when you're
sick or you're feeling depressed.
right.
Yeah. Now you're going for an operation soon.
At the end of this month.
Right now, I'm just wondering if these entities or an entity, one of them are sticking around to protect you from the other entity that is
I'm
here.
sure that there's something protecting me from something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
Have you had a psychic in here to do any type of analysis of the property?
I've had friends that assume, you know, say they are, you know, and say that, you know, that this room's pretty clear.
Okay.
You know, that the rest of the house is, you know,
Active.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but there'll be times when I'm sitting there and I'll get cold to the bone, like it runs right through you,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and then, I mean, cold to the bone, it's like I'm standing in the Arctic, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I'll put my gloves on and everything, and I just cover up and lay down and the hell with it, you know?
Right. Well, I felt, I did. So we get a couple spikes here.
Do you know if any of them have names? Have you heard any names, or do they want you to call them something in particular? Do they talk to you? Do you?
I actually, I mean, I haven't heard any names other than my own. They say my name.
They say your name.
And
They call you from another room, or the
yeah,
room that you're in.
sometimes the room I'm in.
Do
Sometimes
they tell
from-
you to come to another room of the house?
No, it'll be like, hey Bonnie, hey,
Okay.
like that type of thing.
So loud enough. So
You know.
Not just a whisper. Just,
No, it's loud.
Loud.
And then sometimes it'll be like it's right up on you, especially down in the basement, you know, and like it's right in your ear. And it's like, hey Bonnie, you know, and it's like, then it feels like you're almost like froze, like you can't move for a minute, and then it's like, boom, get the hell up the steps.
Do they ever tell you something? Do they want you to do something?
If they don't tell me to do anything,
It's just your name.
it's just my name, you know, and I usually just say, you all stay down there and mind your own business, and I'll stay up here and mind mine, you know, and that's what I say, you know. I mean, I don't know, they've never called me or asked me to help them or say anything like, you know, help
But
or.
you've not stayed long enough to find out if
No,
that's what
because
they
I
want you
get
to
sick
do.
and I'm already got health problems, and
Okay.
you see what I'm
I
saying?
understand. I understand.
Like
Well, that's
an animal went around my leg.
Did your dog sense anything here? Did he
Yeah.
bark?
He barked all the time. He would lay over there.
Did he
It was just
growl?
me and him. Yeah, he would look to the basement and in the kitchen. He barked all the time.
Okay.
And then he would look where she's standing, and he would lay there, and he had his head propped over here, and he barked all the time. So I told, before I even mentioned it to Gordon and them, they told me that there's a man that stands there.
I just go ahead.
With me,
sorry.
not with me there.
There's a man standing there, and he watches over me, and he's been with me for years.
Really? Okay.
And they said he sent him out of cigarette smoke and alcohol. But I told him it wasn't my husband because my dog wasn't scared of my husband. My dog loved my husband, so he was like a caregiver, my dog was, to me and my husband whenever you were sick.
She has crosses behind the clock.
She does. Okay.
My sister told me to.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there any difference in the two readings?
It's 66 degrees in there. It's 50. I'm sorry, it's 61 degrees here. It's about 5 degrees difference. 59 degrees on the floor.
But he would go wild sometimes. He would bark constantly back here. And then he'd come over here and sometimes he'd get wild. He'd just go all over me. I mean, if he thought something was back here, he was there, you know. And I had feelings where something comes through this window.
Right.
And I was like, there's something come through that window, like that shadow that was in that bedroom. That's what I remember I told you it looked like.
But I think that's part of the wall that goes down to the basement where that,
Yeah, you say where that porthole thing
or
looked like.
whatever it is. I don't know if it's a portal or whatever the hell it is. That's what other people have said.
Yeah, see, I was telling Desi a lot of times mirrors are a portal to. Okay, I'm gonna play this tape that was recorded by who recorded this?
Bonnie.
Bonnie recorded this tape
Sam.
taken in the basement. What day was it taken?
Last night.
Last night. Okay.
25th.
Right, so we're gonna see what they saw. Yesterday, the 25th. Happy Thanksgiving.
I wonder if I should send a night shot down.
Okay, you can cut that out.
And I never do that with my glasses on.
My
And
husband
I'm
had trouble seeing.
really tight in the chest and in my calves. Not my thighs, but my calves.
Where you can't walk.
Feel like they're bound. And my left arm, now I would think, I've been holding this book the whole time. I feel nothing in my right arm. My left arm feels like it's wanting to just disassociate with me.
Have you ever experienced that, Molly?
I have to wear hand braces to bed at night because if I don't, my hands will draw up. My hands get so cold in here at night. You know, like I get really cold, you know?
Right.
And normally my kids can tell you I'm hot all the time. I'm not cold, you know? But I just bundle up, put gloves on, and do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To avoid it. But I think maybe what she's picking up is Raymond. Because Raymond had trouble walking with these legs. He had trouble with his breathing. And I don't know if he had any problems with...
He wore
Yeah,
glasses
he wore
and
glasses.
he had cataracts, honey. He almost went blind.
Did you know that who this was?
I
This
think
entity in the corner, did you know who it was?
it
No.
could be. No, not that. But I think they're picking up on Raymond because that's the way he
You're
was.
describing his illnesses.
Is there any change in temperature with me standing? I mean, I know do you want me to leave?
No, stay right there.
My whole arm is tingling and my feet are tingling.
Yeah, I get that too.
Like they've fallen asleep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's about 80 degrees, 82 degrees.
But I don't get that tingling unless, like, I've been asleep and I'm laying on my arm, or I've crossed my legs for too long.
It's a numb feeling.
But my
Your feet
feet
in
are totally planted on the ground. I'm not cutting my circulation off whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's 59 degrees, your feet's 73. 80 degrees. It's about average temperature. I mean, the house about 60, about 80 degrees. So,
Strange, isn't it?
Isn't it?
well, geez. Have you seen anything else in here so far?
Just a little ones running through.
We got a couple really good slow orbs on there, so definitely, like I said, there's definitely activity here. So you can definitely be relieved that it's not your mind going crazy.
Well, hell, I'm crazy anyway, so I don't care.
I wanted to know if I was crazy or not.
No, you're not
She
crazy.
just keeps getting worse, and I'm like, well, I don't see nothing, and I don't hear nothing. But when I go down the basement, I just like try to block everything out, and I say, whatever's down here, I'm down here to do my laundry. You just need to go on and do whatever you need to do. And stay down here, because Bonnie always says, when you get to the top of the steps, it's like there's something trying to pull you back down to the basement. Like they don't want you coming up the steps.
Right.
And I'm like, and we have the kids down there playing, and we play music down there. And the
I
activities
know.
really act up when we play the bluegrass and the good home stomping music. At least I think so, don't they, Bonnie?
What's that?
Our bluegrass music,
Yeah,
the religious church music and all that. She said, "You're gonna get them started and then leave me here."
So do you think they like bluegrass or they don't?
Yeah, they like bluegrass. It's old country home.
They get noisier with the bluegrass, you know.
Oh, they
like
do?
when she leaves.
She says, "I fire the house up."
She fires the house up and then she
Right,
leaves,
please.
you
Oh,
know.
that's-
And I'm like, fucking bitch, you know. You gotta leave me here like this, you know.
We're going down the basement of Babson Road, and we're gonna have the EVP detector going. Also, we'll have a little red flashlight going, and also we'll have the night shot running on the camera. We'll take some temperature readings and see, pick up any type of activity while I'm down there. This will be in the dark, but you should be able to see me. All right, let's go. Stay with me, watch your step. Now, you might want this. Yes. Entities, we are coming down the stairs. Feel a little bit chilly, cold. A lot of the activities around this pole here. Yes, these entities, why are you here? What are you looking for?
If anyone is down here, if anyone wanted Bonnie to do something and she was too frightened, is there any one of you that can tell me, my name is Eileen, can you tell me what you want? Can you show me what you want? Can you make me feel what you want? I am open to you.
Here. What is your name? How long have you been at this place?
Having a difficult time focusing.
On the here, well, that's okay. I get some more. A little reading right here. It's kind of cool. Reading here.
Is there something unfinished that you need to have done? I can help you. I am willing to help you. You can say my name. You can touch me.
How long have you been here? What do you want? What do you need? Behind the door, perhaps. Yes. Should I open the door? What do you think? We get the reading up about in here. Now let's take a look. Ooh, yeah. Entity, speak to me. I'm here. Temperature's cold in here. Get more near the top here. Let's check. Let's see. Flashing light. It wasn't.
We're going down the basement, Babson Road.
channel. Check the temperature readings. I'm going to do some temperature readings now. Use okay, here we go. 51 degrees. 52. 55. So far, my average temperature around 50. Okay, let's go out in this other room here. Now this is the room where she has most of the activity, right where this pole is. And she actually saw a figure of Jesus Christ at this pole, beckoning her with his hands out. So, quick. Have you got the camera on me?
Yes.
One thing that you should keep in mind is when a ghost hunter enters a possibly haunted site, that disrupts the entities that are here. So what people that live here experience will may not possibly be what the ghost hunters experience. So usually it takes time to set cameras up in places and let it run overnight, or run EVP phenomenon, which I'm doing right now. And hopefully, if there is an entity here, he contacts us in some way. But I want you to take a look at some film that was recorded down here by the occupants overnight, and you might be surprised at what they found. Keep your eyes open. It's in this exact location, and you'll see some orbs that appear out of nowhere. Take a look.
And I never do that with my glasses on.
My
And
husband had trouble seeing.
Really tight.
I've seen a shadow of a man that looks like a man standing behind the chair.
Okay.
You know, I've seen that a few times. But that's just like a quick glimpse and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's smells like a smell of like tobacco and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dirty, like, you know, like somebody's been really out rolling around.
Yeah.
Smell like that comes sometimes when that man's behind the chair, because she'll say, I smell tobacco, I smell this, I smell that, and it's like, you know, well, he was just behind the chair, you know. You know, that type of thing.
Is there a usual time when you might see it, or just?
No, actually, it's kind of like it's just sporadic around here. Sometimes it'll be real quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it'll start back up again. You know, like last week, for instance, when I called you, I was down in the basement and my radio turned itself up completely as loud as it would go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's vibrating the floors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I come up to turn it back down, there's nobody up here. My TV, I'll be watching TV and the TV will just go off. And I'll turn it back on. You know,
Okay.
stuff like that goes on.
Like you don't want to leave the house, or there's something
No,
else you
there's
do?
days that you don't want to leave. You just, you know, you just don't want to leave.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to force yourself to get out of this house. And then once you get out, you're fine. You know. But
Okay.
getting out the door, sometimes it's like you feel like you need to stay here. You know, for some odd reason, you need to stay here. You know, not to. And I get this strange obsession to clean it and take care of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I make sure every day when I get up, I start dusting everything off. I start cleaning. I repeat the same thing every day. I mean, and down in the basement, and I know it sounds strange and I know it sounds weird. I mean, I've seen the form of Jesus down there in that basement 2 times. I told my sister, I said, if I told anybody that I seen Jesus in the basement, they'd think I was plumb crazy. You know, no.
Now, was Jesus, when you saw him, was it a flash also? Or just...
No, it was standing there like this, but I'm thinking, you know, this thing wants me to come to it and it's trying to play something that I know.
So giving you that sign of Jesus to come
like
to.
It's
actually,
okay. Like
yeah.
it's okay. You know, it's okay, come to me, you know, and I'm just like, you know, on up the steps, you know, I don't care who you are. You know. And I've seen that twice since I've lived here, and I've lived here a year and a half.
Did you see, was it the same hands out, Jesus with his hands out, motioning you to come to him? Or was it just... I seen like that, with his hands out, both times. Did you notice on his hands, the markings on his hands at all? No, there wasn't nothing in his hands. Holes?
Nothing, no holes in his hands.
Did
And
you-
it was by the pole down there,
Right. Okay.
you know, by that pole. And I looked back again to see if I really seen, you know, and it was still there,
Really?
you know. And then I come on up the steps, and then I told my sister about it that night. I said, I'm not going back down there because it's trying to play, whatever it is, trying to play you up to it,
Right.
you know. Like, this is somebody you can trust, come here.
Right.
You know, because most people be in awe to see Jesus. You know, my ass ran. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ran up the steps. I'm just like, no, this is not Jesus. You know.
How long did you see Jesus down there? Was it like over like a couple seconds, then you stopped, looked back, a couple more seconds, then you took off?
Right. Yeah, it wasn't no long period of time or anything like that.
But it wasn't a flash.
No, it wasn't a flash.
As if you could turn around and see it again.
Right.
It's not a flash.
No, it wasn't a flash. That was not a flash. Now, the times I think I see my sister sitting here or walk to the bathroom, those are flashes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that wasn't no flash. And I haven't seen any other form down there.
Right.
You know, I haven't seen any other form other than that down there, and I've only seen that twice. See, when I got here, I started painting on that basement, you know, so I spent some time down there. But that room where that's below the bedroom right there, up on top of the wall, his son, I guess, the guy's son that lived here, I guess the boys slept down there, you know, but he had this satanic verse wrote on the ceiling, and it was right below the bed was right on, his daddy's bed was right over top of this verse, okay?
Right.
So I painted over that ceiling like 2 or 3 times till it was gone, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that had anything to do with whatever he was doing up in here with that kind of stuff. Maybe that had something to do with it.
The son was.
His son.
That had a lot to do with it.
Huh?
Would have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and it was, and I seen it right there, and that's where his dad was at. His dad was sick in that bed. It was right below his dad's bed, the verse was. And it was wrote pretty big on the wall. Why nobody took it off of there before I got here, I don't know.
Well, we blessed the rooms.
Not downstairs where the verse is.
You want to bless the room downstairs?
Not when destroyed the verse. When it bless it, don't want to destroy it.
Well, do you feel uncomfortable about scraping that wall, that ceiling, and removing
No, I don't
it?
feel uncomfortable about scraping it. I don't feel uncomfortable about taking it out, you know.
Okay.
Because I already don't want to leave the house with that thing intact.
Do you have some scrapers? Do you have some tools that...
I don't know what's down in the basement, but I mean, I think some of the tiles, I think the tiles can just come out. I think it's those styrofoam tiles, I'm not sure.
Can you show me where it is?
Yeah, I can show you where it is.
And calculate that verse.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. It was weird that it was right underneath the bed where his dad was sitting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She
And I
puts
don't know
something
what,
here on.
Right.
you know, problems that he had with his father, because I didn't know all those things.
Clean place. Patrick, explain to the viewers what you're doing.
I asked the father to come in and clean off this place in his son's name and use the holy word as cleansing.
protect the occupants, or will it?
I guess an educated guess for me, but I'm thinking that verse has to go.
Okay.
I think that's probably opening a portal in here and just allowing things to come in.
Okay.
Hey, Chuck.
All right, what we have is Patrick's gone through the rooms, blessed the rooms, and hopefully that will take care of any entities that might be in this house. If not, then we'll be back. That she does have a satanic verse that's written on the ceiling in the basement wall, or actually the basement ceiling underneath this room I'm in now, which is right underneath this bed. So hopefully, by blessing this room and her removing that satanic verse, by scraping it away, not painting over it, scraping it away and then repainting that ceiling, that might take care of this entity that haunts this house.
It's right up in here. This is right where it was at.
You should hold that.
Sure.
We just take the whole thing down and get rid
Close
of
your
it.
eyes.
Yeah.
All right, watch out, we don't get things in your eyes.
Don't you get one more?
I think there's some silver.
What about this one?
I think
Because if you look right there, that's where the bed was at.
that all of them,
But is that, I mean, it's written here.
be safe and take those two.
Bonnie, do you think anything was written on these?
I don't think so, but just to be safe, might as well jerk them.
They can take the whole ceiling out.
Well, my heart's pounding right now.
It is pounding now?
Pounding. I was very calm.
It's a little heavy. All right, got Satan by the bag.
That's cute.
Like a Rorschach test, what can you see in the pattern? And I think here is a case where the real paranormal has so. Okay, now, what were we?
We were working on Eileen's notes, but I think we have somebody joining us here. We have welcome to the Ghost Hunters Inner Sanctum. I'm Alex Angel Gamber, along with Patrick Deadman Hughes, and joining us today is Eileen Neiman, who is also the Ghost Hunters journal keeper. She goes with us to the investigation and records everything that she sees. And I'd like to welcome Eileen. Welcome to the Ghost Hunters.
Thank you very much.
And,
Nice to be here.
Good, great. When you've been considered a receiver, what is a receiver? Can you elaborate just a little bit on that for me?
Sure. A receiver is a person that is able to go into an atmosphere or a room or an area where they have a feeling of either a person that's been there, an entity. They can have just an idea that it's there. They can have a physical feeling that it's there. In most of my personal experiences, I have also, say for instance, gone into my closet and tried on everything I had, didn't know why I was doing it, and would go to the function I was going to go to that day, and the person sit down next to me and say, "How do I look? I tried everything on in my closet." So sometimes it's an eerie thing that I think it's me and it's really someone else.
Right.
So you can receive in that way.
Is this considered being an empath? And it's different from, say, being a psychic?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself to be a psychic. I would say that I get vibrations or I get actions from another person. It can be in the same building, it can be in another neighborhood or another town, but
Be more classified as an empath.
an empath then.
Okay.
Mhm.
I like that word, empath. It's, well, I would like to welcome the viewers back to the Inner Sanctum. This is called the Babson Portal, the program that you've just seen. We actually got contacted by the people that lived in that house to come out there and investigate for some paranormal activity. And Patrick, if anybody has any type of paranormal activity at their house, what would you tell them?
Well, I say they could contact us. You could reach us here at the station, DATV 223-5311. You can ask for Alex or myself. Or you can contact us at by email, DaytonGhostHunters@yahoo.com. Address a message to us, and we will get back with you as soon as possible.
Okay, you know, really the next question I have, Patrick and Eileen, is the viability of Deese McIntosh and Bonnie Bird. Did you believe them that they actually had an entity there in their house? Patrick, we'll start with you.
Yes, and I would say they have just from my own feelings from it. First of all, when Bonnie called in and contacted us, she sounded like she was under stress. And later on she said she wants to come check out the house because she wants to know if she's going crazy or not. You know, that gives what I call credibility when I'm talking to someone.
So
Secondly, when I walked in the house, I felt something strange. You know, a tingling sensation, like something wanted to grab me. And thirdly, from our instrument readers and what we recorded on camera, it tells me that there's something in the house. We have empirical data that we can look at. So I say this is definitely a positive for paranormal activity here.
Eileen, how did you feel?
I definitely felt that they had credibility, and there were a few reasons why. In a few of the readings, in some texts that I've read and some people that I've spoken to, the manifestations of being very nervous, continually repeating the same problem that they say they're having. Even both of them talking to us at different times when both of them were alone. Both of them had the same type of reaction, the same thoughts, the same fears, the smells. They smelled the tobacco of the gentleman who passed away, the dishes rattling, and both of them had the same experiences and happening over and over. And the nervousness, the fact that they wouldn't be in the same bedroom at night, all of that told me that they were under duress.
Okay. Well, how about faces in the tile? Now, me, I saw faces in the tile, but I'll tell you what, I only saw one face, the alien face. The other faces it was tough to see. You know, what did you think, Eileen, on the faces in the tile?
The faces in the tile were a little hard for me also because all my life I've seen faces in clouds and faces in the rug and faces almost everywhere. But when I listened to Bonnie, I listened to her and I saw her point out the devil in a tile, which was outside the shower. For her to see a devil is another way of bringing out her dire
Imagination?
fear. This must be the devil working here. So that's,
Did you see the devil? I didn't see the devil.
yes.
You did?
But she had to draw it for me.
Okay.
Once she drew it, then I saw it.
Patrick, how about
Yeah,
you?
I only saw the alien, and she had to draw it out for me. It's kind of like a Rorschach test. What can you see in the pattern? And I think here's a case where the real paranormal has overstimulated them that now they're seeing things everywhere.
Right.
You know, they can look at this blank wall here and see patterns. That's because they've been sort of touched and they have been traumatized by what's going on there. So now they are overly sensitive and they are able to see things everywhere.
Right.
Because, well, they are dealing with the paranormal, something that is playing games with their minds. I mean, even I mean, they may have been overly sensitized to even see these things. You know, maybe there was some manipulation there to rearrange some designs there so they could see some images. You know? But like I said, I think it's just that they are really overstimulated, traumatized, and now they're going to see things everywhere because they have been exposed.
And I want to add one more thing here. Deese had made a point to tell us and show us all of the crucifixes and the religious paraphernalia that was in the home. They could not go from one room to another without having a cross on the wall to look at, to pray to try to keep them in a safe place. And traumatized, I think, is a very good explanation.
Yeah.
Along with the traumatization comes the scientific part of it, the readings that we use, the temperature readings, and also magnetic field detectors. And in the first initial investigation, we had good readings in the back bedroom, and we'll be showing the audience the clip of that. And then later, when we came back, in the same exact spot, there was nothing. What, Patrick, how would you explain that?
I looked at your footage and the reading that you're getting. When I initially walked into the bedroom, it was just like alive with electricity. The skin was just tingling, that tingling sensation over it. But it immediately backed off, disappeared. It was kind of like an octopus reaching out and grabbing you, and it said it doesn't like the touch of you, and then just back away from you. That was the impression that I got from whatever was in there. And it just retreated to wherever, you could actually feel it retreating from me. I don't know how to explain what was going on, but you could definitely feel something when I first walked into the bedroom, and then it just disappeared.
Eileen, in that bedroom, you felt, how did you feel? Nauseous?
Tell you what, I had almost wished when Patrick walked into the room the second visit that he would have been able to experience what Alex and I had experienced. I was not expecting this, but I got really ill, and I could hardly breathe. I wanted to throw up right there, and I was taking deep breaths on the film. It really surprised me that all that came out. And then I got really, really hot. And I know you put the thermometer on me. I could not believe the reading. And the reading in the hutch, when I held it in the hutch in the back, and it went from yellow to red, and it stayed there. And Alex, you said, well, it's staying there.
It caught me off guard too.
I thought, well, that's why I'm so sick. It was very, very surprising to me.
Well, you felt sick in the back bedroom. You felt sick behind the big chair. And when Deese was talking about Raymond, her husband who had died, and she started, you started explaining what you were feeling. What did she say?
Yes. She outright said, oh, that's Raymond. Now, previously, she had spoken about her husband passing away, about the two of them living in the house. She had never mentioned his name. Not only had she not mentioned his name, she had never told us about his illnesses. And so, of course, I didn't know anything about it either. So I did not as much feel ill as I felt things happening to me standing in that corner. The only thing that Bonnie had mentioned was, or Deese had mentioned was, that the corner, things always happened there. And that's all she said. So my calves got tight, my chest got tight, my arms started getting numb, my eyes started squinting.
That's right.
And I had my glasses on. And we were watching the film that we were playing from the basement, and Alex, you said, Eileen, you're squinting. And even you said you asked me a question. And I didn't even know you asked me a question.
Okay.
So,
Well, those feelings, I know you were describing Raymond, who had passed away about 2 years earlier.
2 years earlier, and she went right from the toes to the head. She said he had trouble walking, he had emphysema, he was on oxygen, he had trouble with his heart, the arm, and he couldn't see very well, and here I'm squinting. So I was a walking Raymond, if you want to call it that, but it all really surprised me.
Now, I think you're in the basement. You also felt something. Can you describe that?
Yes, and again, not knowing any of the history of the house or anyone else that had been in there previously, we all walked down the steps. There was a counter to the right and a mirror, which I believe you had mentioned after a while that may be a portal, and I believe Patrick had mentioned when he came the second visit that may have been a portal for the basement. And across from that was a pole. And I was standing in between the pole and the counter, and you all were talking, discussing things, and I started feeling nauseous. Not as nauseous as I was upstairs in the bedroom, but I was definitely feeling nauseous. And she said that any other psychic that had been there, anyone else that had tried to help them that came to the basement, got the same reaction. They all got sick.
I think we have to give our cameraman, Sam Brewer, a lot of thanks for the excellent camera work he was doing, even though it seemed like he was under a little distress himself with the heavy breathing down there. He seemed to be affected by what was going on. And we want to thank Sam for his excellent camera work that he was doing for us there.
I agree.
Very excellent. There's something else I would like to bring out about the tiles. And what Bonnie had just mentioned in the clip that we saw. She told us that when she saw the verses, she had an innate feeling that they were something bad. And she tried to paint over them. And it took 3 coats of paint so that these verses would not bleed through the paint. She also mentioned on the clip, when she was telling us about the verses, she had the awareness that they were below the bedroom. When we were in the basement and you saw us pulling the tiles down, she was pointing to the ceiling and repeated, "This is where the master bedroom is. This is beneath the master bedroom." She was visibly upset. And I think, as Patrick was saying in the end, he was hoping that once those words were out of there, even though we didn't know exactly what they were, that it was going to give her and everyone in the house some relief.
Right, yes.
And I really don't know what that verse was doing and what effect it had. Just don't know what it, I'll just say I had to get it out, even though I don't know. We're acting on blind faith there.
Right.
I just didn't, when it comes to leaving a verse in there, a satanic verse in there, even though I don't know what it was doing.
Right.
You know.
And also, when you got done with taking the ceiling tiles down, then what did we do? With
We busted it up
and the holy water.
Oh yeah, we did the whole 9 yards on that.
That's right. So you took the holy water and you
we immersed it, or washed it down. We busted them up, took them to a dumpster, threw them in there. I wanted to burn it. And you said just leave it in the dumpster. That's okay.
Right. And when Bonnie saw the bottles,
Yeah.
I think if I'm right, she asked you to go in every room.
right.
That's right, we did, and we did go back,
Yeah.
go through all the rooms. and
Yeah.
stuff.
So you blessed each room.
And that's something that I've never done before. It was just a lot of things came up that we normally don't do, in this case,
Right.
We're not in the ghost busting business. We just go out and record what activity is going on there. Here's a case where we're being proactive and taking a stance against it, which is okay. I can fight evil anytime, anywhere. I don't care about. But this is something that we normally don't do, and we were really out of character here. Going out.
And to prove that, the bottles were in the car.
Yeah.
You had not asked when you came in with us the second time around to
Yeah.
bring them in.
Yeah.
And I went out and got them from the car. So this was not a plan that you had.
Yeah. In fact, when Bonnie initially called me to come out and investigate, I said, we don't come out and do exorcisms. We're not Ghostbusters. We just come out and take measurements and do video,
Right.
and to verify what you're saying. She said, that's what I want, because I just want to know if I'm going crazy or not.
Exactly.
I said, well, we can help you.
Well, I think we gave her some relief in that respect.
Yeah.
You know,
She's not crazy. There is something there, you know.
and well, I don't know. I think when she started talking about the Jesus figure in the basement, that was, some people might think, well, that is crazy.
Well, that was, well, I won't say it's crazy, but for me, that was a red flag that she's dealing with something that's on the dark side or evil, something that is trying to fool her,
Right.
play on her feelings. You know.
And not just that. When she was discussing not wanting to leave the house,
Yeah.
she was healthy before she moved in there with her sister. She said since she has been in there, and it's both she and her sister, not just her, they feel, quote, the house wants to keep us here. Now, she knows the difference, where she was living out of state, and when she came here to live, she was healthy. She didn't have any of these thoughts and these visions and hearing the dishes rattling and all that. And here she says it's hard to get dressed, it's hard to leave, and they have to force themselves to walk out of the house. So when you experience these things yourself, it's hard to make someone else believe it, but it's not just her. The other people in that house experience the same things.
Right.
So,
Well, I want to thank the viewers for tuning in on the Ghost Hunters Inner Sanctum, the Babson Portal, and we hope you enjoy the program. And also Eileen for joining us for the Ghost Hunters Journal. Thank you. And she'll be joining us on all the rest of the investigations. You know, her reports are very important, and we'll also update this segment with her report, which we have in front of us now. So we appreciate all your efforts.
and I want to thank you both very much. It was a wonderful experience, and I hope to be joining you on other occasions.
Patrick?
And I want to remind, well, tell the audience to look forward to some of the programs that are coming towards you. We're about to wrap up the Indian Maiden Bellbrook Road. We're close to putting that on the air. You got 13 stories on the undead, which is next up, and that's pretty close to being finished now. So we've got some more programs coming at you. Stay tuned. Even better ones, we've got the Troy Street Cemetery, where we have another portal that we created in a ghost capture, an orb that we captured there. That's coming at you also. So we've got some pretty good programs coming at you, and I think you're going to be quite pleased with the results, the video footage that we're going to bring towards you.
Sounds good. You've been busy.
So, bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right, that was good. I thought was
Thank you.